especially against Keane's champion pool. You take away the Urgot, make sure he doesn't have that up his sleeve. You basically leave him with things like Jarvan as hard counters to some of your mages in the mid lane. So I like the Azir takeaway here. It's so hard to counter that champion, even when you know it's coming.
It's definitely a tier above other mid laners for champions, or for tier above other champions for mid laners. I'll get it out. Tristana, however, is going to be first picked by Cloud9. Sneaky has been picking that up for the past few games, and Kalista, when it was left open, that's banned. Back to Trist.
Their last 5 games have been Tristana or Kalista.
Yeah.
Of course, picking that up. First pick, you see the priority here they put on having Sneaky get that champion over Altec locking it in for himself. If Altec's able to get that champion, you risk early turrets going down, and Gravity getting that early game advantage that they were thriving off of in the beginning of the split.
Well, see if Cloud9 can start the momentum their way, taking down some turrets early game if they get the matchups that they want. Gravity taking all the time here as Hauntzer gets himself comfortable. See the Gragas being locked in. Quite a bit of this as well at Madison Square Garden. Gragas after Gragas game getting locked in by the junglers. Braum as well for Bunny FuFuu.
The last time we saw Gragas move, it was the very end of the season, not playoffs. He didn't play it in playoffs once. And in that last game against TDK, which ended up being a loss. But besides that, he hadn't played it since week 5. But still a champion he has up his sleeve. I do like the Braum for Bunny FuFuu. Even though Alistar's on the table, they want to take that away. It's a very high priority pick. Great skirmish champion and very good at level 1s. And Gravity, we've known their early game strategies. Their level 1s were something they were getting enormous advantages off of over teams beginning of the split, and their early games too. So if they're able to fall back on that and Bunny FuFuu shot calling with Braum can come into play, they might be able to get an early advantage here.
It's interesting to see no support bans going at him with the way that Gravity is kind of tiebreakers and matches towards the end of the season went. He was definitely seeing some Thresh and Braum bans alike, or Alistar I should say, but really Braum in that taster's choice right now for the supports. Karma getting locked in again by LemonNation, continuously staying with this pick, and the Diana.
This is most likely a TP Diana in mid lane for Incarnation. It is flexible though, we can see it top. Very, very rarely do we see that though. But the mid lane TP Diana, I'll talk about it more when the TP actually gets locked in and we get into game. But the Karma for LemonNation is a pick that he has picked 3 times in a row. The last 3 games that they played at the split, 2 of them losses, 1 of them a victory, but it was against TSM.
So limited, yep. That very, very crushing victory they had. They also had Shyvana in the jungle for that. Just a pretty much pedal to the metal composition they had for that one. But he's also brought it out to the likes of CLG as well within those last 3 games. So it's definitely something they feel they can control the game with, even versus the top teams. Let's see what Keane has in his pick, Altec as well, and then they will be able to counter what they're looking at here. It's just got to stick with what they want, and comfort with Viktor and Ashe for Altec.
I like this, the comfort of having the Viktor, very great wave clear champion in the mid lane. You assume it's a mid lane Diana, so you can already lock in your middle pick, and then you save your counter pick for your top laner. I really like this strategy coming in here because top lane just has so much priority on it right now in terms of counter pick and getting a good matchup here.
Taking a second look. I was thinking about this earlier because Sneaky was playing Ashe. They talked about it on the analyst desk, but yeah, there's no Ashe play this season in the summer for Altec coming in here. So this is going to be his play now on the stage. Has obviously played it in solo queue, knows the gist of it. We'll just see how it goes.
Altec and Bunny FuFuu combo here. The Freljord guys.
Yeah.
Coming in Ashe, long range engage. You also have counter engage and a little bit of engage with Bunny FuFuu on that Braum. But this is a deadly combo. And Ashe, I'm very surprised. Whoa, 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 whoa. All right,
okay.
All right. I said I was very surprised at that.
It's been a month.
Whatever.
We wondered if they were going to bring anything out.
Ashe is getting very popular. We'll throw that off to the side. High on the Amumu.
Awesome.
And balls on the Rumble. The Wombo combo coming down here.
We are on 514, to reiterate what patch we're on. Making sure everybody knows, but High is going to take the Amumu. I wouldn't put it past these guys. These are the guys that brought out Rengar during the season.
Yeah,
so.
High just goes with... this is like a High old school Quantic when he was the jungler of this team.
Getting the stretch in.
Going back to it. When's the last time you saw an Amumu?
Isn't Amumu one of his favorite junglers or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the champions that he played way back in the day when they were qualifying for the LCS.
For sure. Well, Cloud9, I love when any teams try something in the first few games of a best of 5. You have comfort to fall back on, test your opponent, and see where their boundaries are. Why not do it with an Amumu, a Diana, and keep that karma going in the bot lane?
Oh man, I like these compositions coming together here. A lot of engage on Gravity's side. They're able to get in with the Ashe arrow, takes the burden of engaging off of Hauntzer, so he doesn't have to play Maokai. He gets to play the Gnar, and he gets to have a good matchup where he can bully out Balls a little bit. But Balls isn't looking for the one-on-one. He's looking for the team fights with the Amumu.
Yes.
High's impact this game versus Move. We were talking about has High picked up new junglers, which is going back to an old one.
That he is. Another thing that also falls into play here is positioning for Gravity. It's going to be the instant bandage toss into ultimate. You haven't played around it that much. You may mess up a few times, and those few times can be the fights that Cloud9 needs to really get themselves ahead. Still, can't count Gravity out. We talked about their early game. You're going to have Move on Gragas. You might be able to set something up with FuFuu on Braum, depending how they split things up. We are going to be getting into this North American Regional Qualifier, Cloud9 versus Gravity. It's been, like we said, roughly a month before these, or since these teams have played, so I'm sure they're ready and raring to go.
Yep. And Bubba there on your screen.
Take that book.
Since he got brought on, I was very surprised they didn't bring Charlie back because Charlie was helping the Challenger team, but Bubba is the one still in Champion Select with them, still coaching them. I heard that he's raising their morale, and he gives LemonNation a lot of freedom of picks. You can see High there. Gets to pick something very off meta. You
guys have like the longest honeymoon phase going on. We're about to be tracking how you guys think the series will go, so keep sharing your picks by voting on Twitter. Send hashtag C9win or hashtag GVwin to @LOL Esports, and we'll tally those up as we go throughout the game. We have a best of 5 on our hands. They were quite fast over in Europe. Let's see what kind of fight Gravity and Cloud9 can put up here in North America. We are on the Rift for Game 1.
I want to see what Incarnation can do on this TP mid Diana. When you have double globals, you can put a lot of priority bottom lane. Sneaky can push pretty much without regard for himself. He'll always have backup. And here comes the Gravity. Level 1 invade.
All right. Vision, Mantra queued, allows them to realize there's somebody on their side of the wall, but power in numbers here for Gravity as they push through to get the wards they need. Good movement by Sneaky. Looks like he's trailing off. They're actually... He's waiting quite a bit of time, holding his ward maybe to make sure he gets it later, or just going back for a fight.
I'm not sure what Sneaky
knows he sees all the members of Gravity, so he can hang out for a bit.
Yeah, he's going to throw his ward over right now.
There it is, so he's just definitely waiting on time.
Make sure it's around.
Yeah, why not?
For the 2 minute and 10
No pressure,
second
no
mark.
pressure.
Still hanging out on this side of the map, though, for Gravity. They warded up the Amumu's blue side, because that's usually the side that Amumu wants to start on, right? Yeah. Doesn't benefit too much from the Krug smite. Go ahead, get the Gromp smite, get the blue. Really good buff for Amumu to have. So this is the appropriate side to ward up.
It's far away. You were alone the whole time.
I'll talk about the Diana mid now. Because the double global pressure, you get to play more to the bottom lane, but also the TP covers the weaker laning phase of Diana until you hit 6. So even if you get pushed out, you still get to cause the enemy to have a bad back. You get to take jungle camps pretty much on a whim. She's very good at clearing the jungle with just the shield and the Q.
That shield to start so he can get up in the face of Keane to start farming off. We wondered if Keane would be trying anything new.
Ward's going to pay off. See what happens here.
He just goes for the Viktor. LemonNation could get a nice Q over the wall here. Mantra's charged up once
They don't know. They're going for damage.
They're actually right on the pressure. Immediately, that shot actually goes over to FuFuu.
Gets level 2 from it. He didn't split experience with Altec.
Nope. They kind of get a little mess up on that as they wanted. It didn't go to them, but it works out.
Yeah, the experience advantage does go over to Gravity, though. And even though Braum took some damage.
Altec's flash.
Yep, that's true. Altec's flash is the big part that comes out of it. And they actually get priority in the lane on C9 side. So C9 gets to push it out because Altec is half HP. He doesn't want to use his potion just yet. He wants to just rely on passive regen, rely on the stacks of the Relic Shield to get back to healthy. So he's not going to blow that potion just yet, which I think is a smart idea, but he's basically lost all pressure in this lane.
So that held ward from Sneaky pays off to make sure they get Gravity. They have the matched up lanes here. We will not get a lane swap for game 1, and we'll see how Cloud9 holds this pressure in the bot lane. Still a do-si-do in the mid. Keane and Incarnation trading a bit of damage and mana, but keeping the farm quite even between themselves. Looks like Sneaky's going to get a bit of vision so they can keep this aggression up in that bot lane and stay pushed. Might see move here. It was a good timing of the ward. He could just be on scuttle duty at this point.
They pinged it out, though. They know that he's just going to body slam over the wall. He's going to try to find a different route in.
Nicely done.
not spotted. He's going to get the flank here, and it's Tristana, so you're constantly pushing up.
Yep.
They do have their summoners available. See if Bunny FuFuu goes for the engage first.
This Ignite as well on LemonNation if they decide to turn. Looks like they're going for the escape. Sneaky jumps to the top side. Lemon's flash is down, so they may be able to work off of that. Flash for a flash, basically, within these engages. Move with a little bit of pressure towards the bot side. High is going to be backing at this point, knowing the pressure of move in the bot lane should kind of relieve a little bit for the lanes as well.
Yeah, move. He's going to go back again for round 2. And he's just going to hang around the bot side. You do see Incarnation has already used his teleport to get a second Doran's Ring and Potion, so he can continue the pressure on mid lane. I love keeping my eye on the Diana TP, because they shove the waves out, they back, and then they force you to get a terrible recall, and then they just clear the wave, and they get a slow CS advantage, which is something that Diana normally doesn't get over good laners.
He keeps himself on a clock, not something we see Incarnation doing.
Oh, they hit Lemon. They hit Lemon.
His flash is down. Remember, just a few more hits for Winter's Bite. The barrel slow as well. There's the lockdown. No Ignite to finish, but they do get a final shot from Altec. High was just short off of his back to get to the bot lane.
A little bit off the timing there, but Move, very diligent, playing to the bottom lane, realizing this is going to be all about the AD carries. Enable Altec, and Altec, like we said, he does so much of Gravity's damage. Why not? Why not go bottom?
Easy play as well. Like you said, that TP was down. Looks like Keane can play a little dangerous here. He does have that exhaust plus his Q shield. Looks like Move is just going to back and forth in this. They know they have no pressure to take him out.
Yeah, just trying to assist with the wave clear. You can see Keane is in a position where he's down consumables, he's down items. He wants to back. He already has that 1,000 gold to spend on his upgrade.
Nice little farm by Sneaky as he picks up more under the turret. That lane has stayed quite even with the pressure that it's had. And Incarnation starts to separate a little bit. Before that bottom engage, I was saying, Incarnation now in a champion that kind of he has to...
Oh, he jumped over him.
I'm not going to get to tell this story. Oh, ball's going deep.
Oh, another shot.
One more shot. He goes down, unfortunately. 1 inch too close to the turret. Well played by Hauntzer as well to draw him in.
Oh man, Hauntzer bounced off his head. I think he went a little too far forward, was not planning on that.
That was definitely a whoopsie. Definitely a whoopsie. Both teleports are down for those top laners. They should get back at the same time, and the turret not hitting those minions. So Hauntzer saving a bit there in resources, should be all right.
Yeah, the wave is actually going to push towards Hauntzer. Very slowly. He'll make it in time to actually catch the wave,
right? Because
it's a Canada mini wave, but it is very, very largely in his favor now. He's the option to freeze it if he wants to, but against the Rumble, he'll probably keep constantly wave clearing to get it to the turret. So Hauntzer is going to rely on some lane freezing mechanics.
Also,
right in time.
Relatively easy to keep track of those summoner spells for the top lanes. They blue flash at the same time. We'll see if either play off of it with the jungler. Maybe a dragon pressure by the time that comes. It'll be around 11 minutes. 2-1 so far. Pretty good amount of kills here for our first game. Usually teams playing quite passive in a best of 5, but they definitely want to test each other out and see what the waters are like right off the bat.
That's true. And High just trying to rush that level 5. Constantly doing camps.
That's going to be big.
Some damage there in the bot lane.
Silent High so far. You forget about the junglers who just have to go to 6 and then they pop out of nowhere. The team takes a big fight. Move. Pretty good pressure over Scuttles. Keeping control of the map for his team. It looks like he may head top side here. Or he just may be looking for High.
Yeah, they shot the Hawk shot. They saw where High was going. He's just making sure that he doesn't run up and go after Hauntzer there. Just hanging out. I like that Hawk shot too. When you reveal High's location, it means you can just push out bottom no problem and know that he's not going to be there. High though, gonna hang out near the bot side now. Go to his red. Bunny FuFuu knows it since he didn't show up there, he's gonna back, and he gets some deeper wards down.
Yeah, this looks like it could be a little bit of love for Dragon here with Vision. If they can get this pink ward cleared, it'd be real helpful. Seems like he has time. Right on his back though is LemonNation. Sneaky on the bot side here. Good damage before Dragon would definitely help Cloud9's cause to make that theirs first, but they will not be able to come up with too much on Bunny FuFuu's shield. Both teams being very giving a lot of respect in these engages.
High's jungle is actually relatively well warded. Gotta watch out for Move, though. Move has been all over the map, making a move on Incarnation.
Ooh, Incarnation actually gets blasted out. He's gonna run back towards the Chaos Storm. Does not want to do that. High goes in, very low on mana, but he's still trying to do what he can to reduce the magic resist with that auto. And now it's balls to come in. We don't have too much rotation from the bot lane. They're 2v2ing each other halfway up the river. Or as they make their way up the river, I should say. But not even too much DPS came out of that. Everyone gets out alive. A lot of resources spent, though. Still in the bot lane, back and forth, Zirene, but I don't think much is going to come of this.
Yeah, because that pink ward being there for gravity and because that Cloud9 didn't have any vision further up in the river, had no idea that they were actually going there or if they were just sitting in the bush, so you can't follow that.
Whew. Incarnation almost kind of looking before he leaps there, was able to get out safely. Blows his flash, though, maybe a return for move towards that mid lane. Keane still has his up for an engage. This ward war right here in the bot lane is getting pretty rowdy. Hasn't really deterred the CS, 67 to 63. It's pretty even throughout all of the lanes as well, even the jungles. It's going to be all about the first moves. Dragon has been pretty quiet on the home front so far throughout this game.
And no Dragon's taking an early move. Has been focusing on lane pressure. He's going to go get this pink ward. It has one last hit on it, or he's just going to walk by it, realize it's there. There we go. Takes it out. Make a repeat visit maybe later on. But you always have to be conscious because Incarnation has his teleport available. He hasn't used it to get back to lane. He's got a solid 10 CS advantage as we approach the 10-minute mark. And once again, he's up in CS. This is that new Incarnation we've been seeing near the end of the split. Having that CS differential over his lane opponent.
Yep.
I think in his last 9 games, he's had it 8 times now. Oh,
very big.
Arrow on sneak.
Calls the arrow. Altec's going down about 100, 200 HP on that. I don't think this is going to call for Dragon on either side. There's a ping on to High right now.
They call for Move, though. Move is down here. He has flash body slam available.
They see High right on Raptors. They just pinged him out. This could definitely be something. Looks like they're going to slowly back off.
Oh, he's going to check it right into him.
Oh, he does it. Sneaky did not back off. Walked right in, and he dodges the Glacial Fissure with the jump. Heals him and flashes himself out.
Oh man, Bunny FuFuu.
Almost a big error.
Bunny FuFuu put the Glacial Fissure after Move had already knocked him out of it. So you want to barrel him backwards. You don't want to barrel him into your AD carry, but they didn't have enough damage off that
That's the second one. He did the same thing to Incarnation in the mid lane. And
yeah, his barrel
knocked out Incarnation, so that's 2 now. Unfortunate situation. They're trying to get these control fights in, and they're pushing everybody away instead of bouncing them towards them.
Yeah.
Still trying. Move has not given up on that bot lane, but we also haven't seen this effect of an Amumu ulti with Incarnation TPing in and this setup that they have going on. The first ult from High was defensively in the mid lane so far. With that now back up, we'll see if Cloud9 tries to set anything up on the map.
It's going to be a while, though. High looking for some type of team fight, some type of skirmish here.
I think Gravity knows as well. Avoid that quite hard. Don't group up. Do not be in a circle for this death ball that they could create. Already saw a TP towards that mid lane.
They saw him.
From balls.
High came out a little too early. That minion was still alive.
He just wants friends. Just wants friends.
Sometimes you want friends, but you gotta stay in the bush a little bit longer.
Yep. You get an even bigger hug. All right, so Keane not able to apply too much damage just yet. He does have 1,300 gold on him. Effectively 1,700 gold on balls here, so they're holding on the fight as well. With that power and stats and gold, that's going to be a save. Altec will lose a bit more health here. Not a mantra Q from Lemon, so it won't apply too much, but still deter Gravity from trying to engage anymore in the fight. Bunny FuFuu definitely on that medic duty for Altec. He's getting hit up quite a bit in this bot lane, losing the trades.
Yeah, it is surprising, though, because Tristana is a very big lane bully, constantly shoving you in. Altec, though, on this Ashe is faring very well. High, hanging on the bot lane, though. He's looking for something.
That's going to hurt.
But Move is here, too. This would be a 3-on-3, but Altec does not have the HP or the ultimate to fight this.
Well, if they want to bait it in, the arrow is actually down. So look at the timer, so you are absolutely correct. A quick back from them. Move looks like he may try to go in, knock him into the turret. But I don't know. It would be scary. That teleport from Incarnation is still up. They'd have to make it happen. I don't think it's going to be what they want. Altec did stay, and that arrow may actually make them feel a little too insecure, or I should say the hawk shot.
Yeah, they cleared it, made sure Hai was not in the bush anymore. He's clearing his red now. Move, though, has used a lot of his time here. And he's not gonna get it. He needs to back off of this. The bot lane is playing very safe. He comes out, he clears the ward finally.
Yep.
Yeah, he had body slammed into the bush. The ward didn't see him on entry. It sees him on exit, though.
So move again. He's kind of almost wasting time in the bot lane at this point. Hasn't focused any other lanes. Not the easiest to gank Incarnation in the mid, but not attempting to pressure anything else. Incarnation still up in CS and getting a bigger advantage as well. It seems like bot lane may be going for not here with Sneaky not dying, only LemonNation once.
And looking at the gold right now, Hai has a bit of an advantage, and so does Incarnation. That's where Cloud9 is still staying in this, despite being down 1 kill. The gold is even.
Super even. Right on the dot.
Not much has happened in this early game. We've seen Move attempt to make some aggressive plays, but 2 of them fell flat by the barrel positioning on his ultimate.
Well, usually he hits those, gets the first kills, and then he's in the other jungler's face, which would have been perfect for an Amumu in the early game because he just wants to get 6. And Move was no kill on Incarnation, no kill in the bot lane, unfortunately. So it's only been that much harder. Coming up on 15 minutes, though, still both teams kind of risk-averse as they do not go for Dragon. Vision constantly set up to figure out where Pi is around it. Gravity just does not want to group up for this Cloud9 composition right now.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
Yeah, oh yeah, you don't want to.
I don't blame
There's 2 TPs, so if one person doesn't show up to the party, well, then your team's outnumbered, and there's the wombo combo.
Exactly. And Cloud9's kind of leaving it up as a carrot on the end of a stick, saying, no, it's perfectly fine to go for it. You should do this.
Yeah, go ahead, engage on Sneaky. It's fine. But both teams are actually okay with a stalemate.
Yeah.
Both teams are okay with playing for mid-game. You have Viktor, you have Ashe, you have Diana, you have Rumble. Cloud9 wants to play for mid-game, Gravity wants to play for mid-game. Cloud9, though, they have a little bit of an edge in team fights. That's just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
It's that Amumu. Where's the ultimate going to get placed? Because Incarnation, he does get split push pressure later. If Incarnation gets to the point where he's actually able to duel Keane 1v1 and pull him to a side lane, he'll most likely be off against Hauntzer, but you can 1-3-1 in this composition very effectively.
Let's see where they go.
Oh, right in Sneaky's face!
That wasn't sneaky at all!
He got his jump!
That was unsneaky! Or not sneaky! Rather unsneaky. It was everything. Wow, Altec coming out very nicely with that. They said, you know what? You want to kill him? I do.
The Glacial Fisher got the tiny knockup as he was rocket jumping. You saw his feet leave the ground, but it was interrupted.
It's hard to do on Trist channel. Cat actually escapes quite a bit. Even you get stunned on the end or something happens and you
she still just goes. Oh!
We were wondering
almost
when they would turn the key, start the ignition. There's one of them. Hai tries to get over the wall as they go for kills across the map. They were a little angry that Sneaky went down and they wanted to get a return kill. Keane finally turning it on as well. Hai just on the wing and not quick enough to get in for Incarnations to re-engage.
Quick upgrade 3 for Keane there. Spends all his gold on his perfect Hex core, so he has the suck in on the gravity field, the vacuum. I was actually very surprised when I saw that. Like, it's 16 minutes in, he already has that. A lot of gold invested in that instead of going towards a death cap, going towards a burst item. He's going for more utility.
This turret could go down in the top side. I was going to say, once Cloud9 gets these turrets down, but the last few engages have made their turrets fall here. We'll watch this bottom one again.
Oh, perfectly exploited there, right there. Boop! Oh, there's the rocket on his back, but it doesn't go anywhere. Perfect capitalization.
Comes up huge.
Really good capitalization there by Altec.
Hauntzer with the Wamba Stomp. Just laughing his face off. He's up in CS too. He got about a 30 CS lead in that lane. Balls has not been able to use the teleport. They have been, that's kind of what we say they want. They want to teleport, they want to fight. Gravity's been keeping it to the lane and actually is starting to get an advantage out of that now. Finally getting up there to a 2K gold lead. For 15 minutes, it was absolutely even. Hai now to the bot side. Pink ward control will still reveal him. I don't know if they're going to be able to get much out of this. If Cloud9 can start getting turrets, you get Hai in the jungle, some bandage toss from Fog of War, things are different. But being shut down now.
But look at all the wards around Gravity's bot side.
They've been keeping that up.
Yeah, and here comes the flank in.
The Banshees fail already as well. 18 minutes in for Hauntzer here. He knows there's quite a bit of magic to be fighting against. Yeah, I don't know if you want to go that way. Still waiting for another jump.
No mana, no mana!
Gets the Q out the last auto. Minion. Oh! It doesn't matter if he knocked him away that time. He blew him up with the explosive cast. Move gets himself a kill. Balls does go down in the end of that fight. And now LemonNation knocked out Winter's Bite on him, but concussive blows does not follow through with anybody else.
Little help from the Dragon there. Incarnation, his TP was interrupted by Keane's gravity field, so he wasn't able to actually get to that fight in that skirmish and was mispositioned and taken advantage of there. But even if he showed up, he didn't look like he had enough mana to actually continue the skirmish. It looked like something that Cloud9 thought was coming at them too quickly. The gravity TP from Hauntzer put them off guard. Because they have all these deep wards. They had all these wards around Dragon.
Wasting no time. And these wards are going down, and they're going to be backing for now. They want vision immediately to use right away. They don't care if they can't act on it. They just want that vision. It's definitely giving them a very big lead so far.
Yep.
Now 4,000. It's jumping 2K increments here. 15 minutes. It's even. 17 minutes. 2K gold lead. Now 20 minutes to 4K. 5-1 here. Gravity has actually found the fights and stayed away from the AoE of Cloud9.
Ooh, he stopped it to jump in on.
Yep, Blood jumped out with the ultimate, rushed in, just out of mana at the end too. Couldn't get the final passive proc.
Huzzah! Gravity might be pouring one out for Cloud9 there. A little help from the Dragon there on that last hit.
Yep.
I don't know why he was in the pit. I think they got routed off to the side after TP from Hauntzer.
Now we talk about gold being on the side of Gravity. There's still gold that stands in those towers right now for Cloud9. They pick a little bit more back up. They stand to still get mid and top if they can push forward, but their wave clear, not superb as well. You kind of got to get a few people into dangerous positions to make it happen effectively here. So if they get pushed in, that may become a problem as well.
And you can see their Gravity, they don't usually have a lead. They average down 500 gold at 20 minutes. They're normally a team that if they get an early game advantage, they'll close the game out. But near the end of the split, that was not happening at all. This is a big turnaround too. Gravity had a lot of takeaways from their set against TSM in playoffs. It was some of these players' first playoff appearance.
Yeah.
And after that, you heard them in that sound on tape before, Altec saying they're taking things extremely serious after that loss.
I always like to hear that. You always like to see teams take things seriously from the get-go. It happens.
Sometimes it doesn't always work that way.
Well, you think, it's kind of, you go in thinking you have the answer, and then you see, oh, the solution to the problem was much different, and we didn't accurately assess it. Oh, there's a good one. That's just too much. That's the vision control that we've been talking about on the bot side, giving Gravity what they want high, now trying to waddle out of this one. The next ultimate used in defense.
Keep going,
and that's going to be the hit. A double kill now for Keane after playing a very relaxed mid-game. 2-0-1.
But they're going to lose two tier 2s here. That is hard to say from Gravity's side. They're going to be able to pick up this one, and Altec is already pushing the bot lane one, and he gets it. So 2 tier 2s traded for 1 tier 2 in the top lane from Tristana with Sneaky.
Arrow flying to the
top
side.
There.
Not going to do too much.
Nope.
Few bits of damage to the minions surrounding, but they still drop the top turret as well. So there's a bit of that outer gold that Cloud9 was hoping to pick up, but like you said, they're losing quite a bit. You can see the reason. All those wards in the bot side of the map that Cloud9 has not been able to clear.
I absolutely love this from Gravity, though. They keep pushing their ward line up, and it's focused around the bot lane where Altec is, where the majority of their damage was. So he was able to freely push bottom.
Too.
Exactly. So he's able to hawkshot across the map, and that's what he's been doing, too, is he's sending his hawkshots into the brush in the lane, down the lane, or over across the map near Braum to check routes, to check who is on that opposite side of the map, and I absolutely love this. It's giving them so much control in this game. Altec helps the other side of the map. The other side of the map helps him. I like this. It's a lot of kind of helping each other. I'm trying to think of the word dependency, codependency. They're helping each other.
Goes for the distortion boot upgrades extremely fast as well. Wants to be out of any of these situations, flashing around the map. He likes them.
He has the distortion boots too. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh man,
a little different. Early buy, that's for sure.
It'll give him that extra movement speed too when you flash.
That's true.
Not everybody's
make sure you can
thinking about that.
Dodge the ult from high, and then you're definitely out of range from Incarnation, because he's then going to jump on you and your Ashe without any mobility.
Yeah, I like it.
Works out. We'll see if it works out. So far, he's got the 2-0-1 previously with the team fighting very nicely around this death squad of Cloud9.
You can always see Gravity's intent by where their wards are placed. Now, all around the Baron. So many wards. They're definitely out-warding Cloud9 in this game, and it's not just move. This looks like a huge team effort. Bunny FuFuu already has the Zeeks, or sorry, not Bunny FuFuu. LemonNation has the Zeeks completed for Sneaky, so the next team fight that comes around, watch for Sneaky, watch for that, and see what ends up happening there. But look at the arrow!
Oh, Incarnation gets hit. There's going to be the slow. He should be able to actually make a good amount of ground out of this one without getting hit by anything else that'll keep him in range. You see that Sneaky's in that bot lane. He could still come up, but they don't want to bring him into a bait. He's going to immediately back. Cloud9 does not want this fight. They're trying to disengage. Don't bring him to Sneaky! He should be back in time. He's fine. Incarnation's going to go down valiantly for the team. A push by High in the mid lane. How many other people from Cloud9, however, they're able to join him? The answer is 0. He's just trying to create more pressure so Gravity doesn't get too much more out of this one. But Gravity are now starting to get picks around the map that they want, and they didn't really have the vision to do that either. They were running through darkness.
So they're running through darkness, but they're very confident. They were able to see in the top lane the ball pushing with that lane ward that they have right after the tier 2. So they were actually pretty fine to do that. They saw the push up Sneaky in the bot lane, and it's a very low mobility Diana. And also at this point in the game, Incarnation, I'm not 100% confident. I don't know if he is either in his ability to 1v1 people. Hauntzer has built full matrices for the matchup against balls, so Incarnation's not going to be able to 1v1 him in a split push.
Right.
And Keane probably isn't going to go split push, so he'll probably focus on objectives and wave clear. Diana's not really going to be split pushing this game.
Yeah, Bunny FuFuu doesn't leave the side of Altec in these games either. Those two, quite a duo that they've been able to come up with this time. Altec previously is like Glee, Paragon, Imagine, so many different supports to still keep himself at a top tier AD carry.
He was a support himself.
He was a support himself. Now Bunny FuFuu and the captain of the team on the support side. These guys have definitely brought out a duo lane that can fight any other. Right now 2-0-2. It's like those fast distortions are paying off.
And Hauntzer's doing an amazing job this game. His teleport's been on point. His pressure's been on point. I like the Hex Drinker build immediately. Oh, High. Oh, a little early on that.
Flashed it forward, move. All the damage onto High. They cannot get past Hauntzer or move right now. LemonNation's focused on the backside. Incarnation jumps in. It looks like he's trying to get onto Altec, but it just can't happen. Bunny FuFuu is hip and hit with him. Balls goes in now. Sneaky, can he get the auto attacks off? A few more crits from him. That's the hit, the reset. Can he jump forward? Hauntzer, one hit away at Altec as well, but Altec could deliver the damage needed to take down Sneaky, and they have to back off.
It's a 3 for 3 at the end of the day, but they still get priority onto this turret, and that's a team fight win there for Cloud9.
Zeke's coming up very big in that fight. Not something that a lot of players are ready to see halfway through the fight, but Sneaky definitely bringing out the impact damage right there.
It's very difficult
making
to
Gravity
track.
change their mind.
It's extraordinarily
difficult to track.
You know when it's on, but you don't always know when it's about to be on. You have to be clicking on somebody and watching
like a sound like,
you see right here? It's already activated coming into it, but it deactivates right there. They wanted to fight around it, and that's where they're looking for it. But High, he flashes after his Curse of the Sad Mummy. So he didn't get it on all 4 people. The TP comes through. Incarnation gets exhausted, but he gets to push them all back and groups everybody up. And now Hauntzer is left by himself to defend, and that gives Sneaky free reign. I love the jump off to the side, not directly into them, but then the Zeeks turns back on, and he gets crit after crit there.
Yep.
Cleaning up that fight just barely for Cloud9 and giving them that turret afterwards.
See, almost. When it's pointing at him and that conduit's ready to go, Sneaky's ready to dish out the damage.
Yeah, you've got to be conscious of when the enemy has Zeeks, at what point in the game, especially when it's a lopsided Zeeks, when your team has it and they don't.
And somebody like the LemonNation as well, most supports can still spit out their damage. You buy it on a Nautilus, you kind of got to hit everything, right? But if you're spitting out Qs, shields, and tethers, you're going to get that charge. You're going to charge us a lot quicker in that fight. You got to be ready for it on the opposing team. 11-4 now. Gravity still holding the lead with 3K, but turrets are now 5-5. Gravity's wards are now starting to focus towards the top side of the map. They haven't been able to get some as deep. That may allow Cloud9 to start some of their engages that they have not been able to get. Expected to kind of see High and Team explode 6, 7, 8 once they got the ultimates in, but Gravity did a very nice job at avoiding fights.
Yeah, they were able to get some skirmishes, some pickoffs there to create this lead. But now the lead's only 2.4, 2.7 thousand gold.
It shrunk, for sure.
Did shrink. And LemonNation, it looks like he's going to go for a Mikhail's Crucible next, which is extremely smart against an Ashe. The person gets hit by an arrow, boom, they're out of it. Their engage is stopped. and that might throw off barrels in the future, it might throw off some other things, but that's the thing, stunting that primary engage with Gravity.
See Locket of Iron Solari on both sides as well. Definitely a necessity in this one, and Balls finally finished that Zanya's a bit ago, so priority target for Gravity here. They may be able to switch things up if Balls can use that nicely with his Rumble ultimate and the high, and high hitting his.
It's actually funny, you mentioned the Locket of the Iron Solari on high. He wasn't usually one to build it. He was playing Shyvana, he was playing Nidalee, and LemonNation was building it, even though LemonNation wasn't really the one building it back when it was with Meteos. That one's just gonna go wide. But the Locket was built on the jungler, so you could prioritize Zeke's for LemonNation. If that hadn't have happened, they wouldn't have had that team fight go the way it did. So in retrospect, that's a very, very good build order for both the jungler and support, each holding a little bit of the weight to enable Sneaky.
Yep. I think FuFuu's job as well to stay in range of Ashe, so even more always giving the resistances over and not leaving her behind. Hauntzer, more peel for him. Randuin's Omen built after his Hex Drinker and his Banshees failed. It was pretty much rushed after that Hex Drinker.
How many wards are there even on the map for Cloud9? It looks like there's just one or two. There's three.
They're getting deleted a bit because it was just a pink ward.
There's
like
all these
slaughter coming in from
They're
Gravity.
rushing the Baron down because they have so much vision here. It's going to go down before they even get there.
Didn't even get to look at it. Cloud9 now retreating on this. They're placing all the wards that they have as they're fighting. That's how they're getting the vision. Keane in a very bad spot gets locked up immediately and deleted. Altec now is crushed. That's exactly why Bunny FuFuu has been hip and hip with Altec this game. We see how fast he goes down without peel. Hauntzer now gnarring everyone into the wall, but the follow-up is still there from Cloud9. They choose to go for lanes. Top is already pushing.
They gave up Baron, but it's a 2,000 gold difference still. Cloud9 winning the team fight off the back of it, catching Keane just on the edge of the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and they had sectioned them off, splitting them 2 and 3, and that was the skirmish that Cloud9 wanted. Diana doesn't want to go into 5 people. Go into 2 people, great scenario.
Very careful here about what move can do. Actually, ultimate's down for him, so Cloud9, knowing that, are going to be able to stay a little bit longer. Absolutely shredding him. We haven't really seen Sneaky and the rest of the team be at a turret just yet, but that's what Tristana does for a living, is drop turrets. They get an inhibitor turret first one of the game.
This is pretty much off of sheer teamfight power from Cloud9. They aren't warding and rotating off objectives. Gravity is the one winning objectives. Save for turrets now, because Cloud9 have been winning some team fights and taking them afterwards. But Dragons, Barons, all over to Gravity so far, and C9 are just trying to force their way into this game.
This is a very scattered fight. All peel up would really...
Yeah, 3 people go off to the right,
just peel
and
up.
then high gets Keane. And everybody, that's a miscommunication there. All of the tanks are off on the right side. Your squishy damage dealers, your AD carry and your mid lane are off on the left.
Side dish.
Keane walked too far forward there. He did not want to get out. He wanted to go in.
Well, from positioning almost, you'd think your team was ready to fight. Woo! The teleport coming in, they want to take down Balls immediately. He still has an ultimate to throw down, slow the majority of the team, but he doesn't even need to. Cloud9 is actually ready to turn and look at this fight. Does not look like either team is going to take it, however. Wards both sides, so no flanks are going to be coming in on this one. Probably just back and pick up resources in the jungle. 2 Zanyas now for Cloud9. Going to make the fighting a little bit easier for them. Might even start to see some of those elixirs start to come out to push players over the edge in these fights.
It's much harder for Gravity to take these team fights too. When you have 2 Zanyas and you have this Tristana that's being enabled by a Zeke's, what ends up happening is you have these 2 guys dive into the back line. You have the Rumble try to get to the back line as well, throw down his ultimate. If you focus either of them, they just Zanyas, and you're getting hit by Sneaky the entire time.
Yep.
And it's a very self-sufficient AD carry. And you look at the people on Gravity who can catch a Tristana, there aren't very many.
No. You have to hit a Glacial Fissure as soon as she's jumping.
Pretty much. You have to hit her with an arrow, Glacial Fissure as she's jumping. But if she's just playing to her range, which increases as the game goes further, it's much harder to reach her.
Really, they need to use a priority ultimate or a skill just to stop Tristana. Explosive Cask, Flash Body Slammer.
You have to be perfect.
It's gonna be tough. They don't have that much lockdown to put right on top of her, and we're seeing Sneaky be able to get out of these fights. Only died 1 time throughout that laning phase. Now they're fighting 33 minutes in. Cloud9's trying to defend their base. They can still work off that inhibitor down top, and they have a minion wave pushing in the bot side here that could actually do a little bit of damage, it seems, if they can start getting a fight with Gravity and they can't get back to it. This is what we knew Cloud9 from before as well. So maybe sometimes they'd falter if they didn't have a good vision in the early game, and then their fighting prowess would absolutely take control.
That's true. Cloud9 were always the team that had that teamwork coming into team fights.
Right.
And it seems like they're recapturing some of that. There's only a 200 goal difference between these two teams now. It is so minuscule. They are neck and neck. Or sorry, 2,000 is what I meant.
I got you.
Yeah, thank you.
I had a 0.
2,200.
It works out so well for them, though. We talked about it in the pregame that under High's kind of mental leadership.
Right to Sneaky.
Oh my word. Chaos Storm with a whole front-loaded section of damage coming in from Gravity. Now onto Balls. They take him down. Equalizer wasn't even used, and Gravity turned the switch. Cloud9 was not even ready for that fight.
They're going to get so much off of this. 30 seconds on the death timers. They have a bit of a minion wave. Are they going to keep going for it? They might be able to take out a Nexus turret or two.
What is going on with games in North America right now? We saw.
Oh, High goes in!
Wait a minute, this could be a stop. Incarnation goes for Keane. That's the damage. He flashes out. The Zanyas is there, but only to make Incarnation look good before he goes down. Hauntzer takes down High on the backside as well, and that is going to be all she wrote. A few minions coming in. That's going to be all that they need. Sneaky is coming up. Incarnation's going to be there. And Sneaky, if he can get one reset out of Keane or move, they aren't going to have those charges yet. For the Zeeks, they may be able to get back into this one. Knocking them away. They can keep themselves alive. Trying their damnedest to do so. 34-55. It's Perseverance pays off for Gravity. Not much Cloud9 could do as they were all on the fountain. And Gravity comes up with game 1. What a fast turnaround at the end there at the inhibitor. Like I say, I'm just seeing the same things in other games. Phoenix getting a shockwave, game's over. One fight like that in front of the base, game is over. Nothing said that that was going to happen all game.
One Ashe arrow to the face, and you don't have McHale's yet, and the game is over. Hit the perfect target to hit. Nobody was in front of Sneaky there. Really, really, really dead-on arrow there to end the game.
Gravity kept themselves in a position to keep making moves and keep wards down. They moved their wards where they were going.
Fantastic.
It fell off a few times, but when it fell off, they only had wards around Baron. It's like they cleared everything. They said, let's do this. It's going to be a shotgun play. And after it worked, we saw that there was miscommunication after that. They thought about Baron, but they didn't think about the exit of Baron. And that was the flaw we saw in Gravity this game, but they were able to repair it.
Yeah, it was kind of a back and forth. They all seemed on the same page in terms of what is the team going to do as a whole all around the map. But then when they grouped up and all 5 people were on the same screen, they're like, okay, now what are we doing? We're all here. We're in attendance. How are we going to be micromanaged now? So that was the kind of the failure there for Gravity. But they pulled it out at the end off of a nice Altec arrow, a nice play, and the follow-up afterwards to stop everything. So I thought that was really, really well done by Gravity.
Definitely should have seen a lot more, I think, of capitalizing from Cloud9 in the early game. There were a lot of missed ultimates by Move, and Cloud9 was still coming up defensively with plays, not trying to work off anything in that. Yeah, you have to level Amumu, get everybody going. Teleport plays may not have been there, but you still got to make something work for yourself.
Yeah, Trashy was talking about which move is going to show up, the early season, the late season move. We kind of got a little bit of the in-between there. He looked like he was on the rise, returning back to his former self.
Yep. Well, let's send it over to the analyst desk for more insight.